What's up? Blessings, everyone. Blessings, blessings. It's Deshaun Davis, aka E Savvy, and welcome to the Shrine officially. This is a podcast segment where really I just want to talk about things that I think are important, that I believe are important. Things such as evaluating ancient texts. Like today, we're going to go over the Enuma Elish. Just a quick little, rundown of the Enuma Elish. As well as things such as mindfulness and consciousness, philosophy, all those topics like that, things that we really should be talking about more in our society than what we really are. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button if that sounds like something that are interested in and, something that you're looking for. And while we're at it too, go ahead over to some other channels. You can go ahead over to Val and Sean. That's VAL and SEAN, Val and Sean. That's my wife and I's channel. And you can also head over to my gaming channel too if you're a gamer. And that's Enlightened Savvy Gaming. Enlightened Savvy Gaming. Enlightened Savvy, one word, space, gaming. Boom, you'll find me. Pretty easy. And so as I grow, we will grow as a community. And honestly, this is what I desire to do full time. So again, all of the support will be much appreciated. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, cool. Yeah. As abundance flows into me, I'll be sure to pour the abundance back into the community as well. The people. I feel like a lot of people that I'm not gonna say a lot of people that have money are hoarding the money per se, but I feel like after a certain point, you don't really know what to do with your money anymore. You know what I mean? They just get money and they start giving it to certain people where they think certain things are going to happen. But I mean, uh, we'll see. We'll see. Not saying I can do better, but I'll definitely try to, guys. Got it? Cool. All right, so let's go ahead and dive on into it. The Enuma Elish, the seven tablets of creation. Yes. It is the story of the creation of our solar system, as well as the ascension of Marduk into his power as the king of the gods. So essentially, I'll give a quick rundown on the tablets of creation. There's a lot of repeated text as well, and it's a lot of missing text as well, and very, very important parts of the Enuma Elish, which once you go read it yourself, because you should and you will, once you go read it yourself, you'll see that the text is missing in very, very interesting parts. So essentially, it starts off with Apsu and Tiamat, and these two entities or beings come together, and they're the first two entities and planets in our solar system, as far as we know at least. And then come the other gods, such as Lachmu and La'amu, and then Anshir and Kishir, and of course after that comes Anu, and so on and so forth, right? So essentially, Apsu gets upset because he can't get any rest anymore, can't get any sleep. I guess the gods that came from him and Tiamat are being too loud now, and so he wants them to quiet down. But instead of just asking them nicely to quiet down, he's like, "Hey, let's go ahead and just eradicate them. You know what I'm saying? Let's go wipe them out right now. Just kill them all, right? Start anew." Apsu, no, crazy. That is crazy, bro. Anyways, so Apsu he tries to talk to Tiamat about this, and through talking to Tiamat, he tries to propose his plan to essentially kill all the gods, right? Tiamat's like, well, I don't really know if that's a good idea. You know what I mean? It's kind of odd. Like, they came from us. We created them. Why would we kill them? Let's talk to them. And so this conversation is overheard, right? And it's overheard by, I believe, either Anshir or Anu, right? And so it's overheard and is relayed back to Anshir. So when he finds about this, he essentially goes and just says, "Yep, we're gonna kill Apsu," and that's what it's gonna be. And so once Apsu dies, then Tiamat at this point is like, "Yeah, you're right. We should have killed them. Let's go ahead and kill them," right? So she turns over a new leaf, a very violent leaf, I will say, and decides to start eradicating the gods, or that's her plan. She's going to build up her army of these monsters, or at least so it states in the text. And then through the building of these monsters, she's going to go and eradicate these gods since they took her husband, essentially, right? Now, after this point, Tiamat, she appoints Kingu as the pretty much like head of the gods on her side, right? And gives Kingu the power of Anu. Okay. At this point as well, everybody's scared of Tiamat because they see that she has a force that is definitely something to be reckoned with. It's just filled with just monsters here and there, right? So they say, monsters. And then at this point, now Tiamat's pretty much just waiting. She's like, "Yeah, I'm ready to battle. What's up? Come fight me, bro." You know what I mean? And so everybody at this point is also scared of Tiamat because they see how formidable she is. They see how formidable her forces are as well. And they're like, "Yeah, we're not really trying to get anywhere near Tiamat. She looks scary. She scares me. I thought she was beautiful and just glistening. No, she's terrifying now." And they decide to back off. And so they tried to call out to one of the guys and see who's actually going to go face her. And no god wants to actually face her except for Mr. Marduk, right? So Mr. Marduk, he's like, "You know what? You guys are scared. I don't care. I'll go do it. But I'll go do it as long as you decide to make me the king of the gods afterwards." Right? And so they agree. And before he even goes to face Tiamat, they're already having feast and celebrating like he already won. To me, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That seems a little off to me. A little off to me, but whatever. So Marduk decides, "Yep, I'm gonna go kill her. We got this." He has his weapons. He has his net, his bow, right? His club, and he's ready to go to battle. And so through doing this as well, sorry, there's four. He goes ahead and pursues the battle, right? And so he gets to the point of facing Tiamat. He sees that her forces are formidable. And he's like, "Dang, that's crazy. I think that they were right. She's kind of terrifying. I don't know if I want to do that." So he decides to try to challenge her one on one. Kind of crazy. He's like, "Yeah, I can't beat you with your whole forces. So fight me one on one, bro." Right? And so they proceed to fight. And he does kill her. And this is where it gets weird too, because he kills her. Oh, thank you. Thank you, sir. But yeah, so then he proceeds to, actually battle her. He wins. He kills her. And at this point, too, is where it gets kind of weird because in the text it says that he slays her host and her host is shattered. What exactly does that mean? You know what I mean? What does it mean that her host is shattered? Because in these ancient times, too, apparently these people or these entities like Tiamat, they are talked about as people, but at the same time, they also are planets as well because they call Tiamat Tiamat, the glistening one, right? Which Tiamat is the planet that our planet actually comes from. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and get into this a little bit and what some of these things mean, or really the questions. And like I said too, for those who are just now joining as well, I prefer to have more of a Socratic method when it comes to discussions. I believe that we are all experts in our own things, but we also need to come together and talk and, really just get to the point where we can start discussing these things human to human without being bashful to each other. There's no place to be bashful and just demeaning to anybody. It doesn't help us grow as a society. But anyways, moving on. The first thing I want to kind of evaluate is whether or not these entities are actual people or are they planets, right? So, from my understanding, my research that I've done so far, I believe that they are people. But at the same time, too, I believe that these people are ruling over planets. So when we're talking about Tiamat, the planet of Tiamat, I believe that the ruler of that planet is what they would call the planet. You know what I mean? So whoever Marduk is, or Marduk, he would be that planet. Tiamat would be her planet name, because she rules Tiamat, correct? From my understanding, at least in my research, that's what I believe. And so if that is the case, why is it? Thank you. See, thank you. I agree, right? It doesn't make sense. To me, it doesn't make sense any other way for them to not be people. that are ruling over planets, because you're not going to have a planet being called Tiamat, just going to battle. Like, how is a planet going to battle unless it is going through the orbit of whatever it is and crashing something else? At that point, it's more of a metaphor and instead of something realistic, right? Could be the case though. Who knows? There's a lot of possibilities in the world, and we don't know enough right now in our current society to actually really grasp that. So, moving on from that too. Uh, yeah. Once the formation of so cool. My bad. Rewinding back. So Tiamat gets slain, right? And after Tiamat gets slain, then it says that Marduk, being the badass that he is, I guess, supposedly, it's pretty ruthless. He goes and stands over her body and then bashes her skull. Wow. And then he takes it a step further and slices her in half, rips her in two, and then makes her one half of her, the covering for the heavens, and the other half, the earth. To me, that sounds like one half becomes the actual earth itself, and the other half becomes more of like our atmosphere and all the stuff going on in our environment, right? And then he goes on to create, the sun, the other planets, and everything like that too. And then he becomes the ruler of the gods, so on and so forth as well. But through that as well, like I said, this is also the tale of how he ascended to the power as well. How he ascended into the position of the king of the gods as well. And it has a little bit of the human creation myth in there as well, like just a little dabble of it towards the end, towards like tablets 6-ish and 7. He goes on to talk about how he created man, which this is the crazy part to me too, how he created man, and he intentionally created man so that man would worship gods, worship them, but he altered the way that the worship would happen as well. So at that point, if you are changing how the god worship is supposed to happen, you're changing the understanding of how we are supposed to operate as humans or humanoids, whatever you want to call it, and you're pretty much just making sure that consciously we stay exactly where we're supposed to, or exactly where we're not supposed to, what I'm saying? We're not supposed to ascend. It's pretty evil. And as some people know as well, Marduk is supposedly Amun-Ra as well, which would make sense considering Amun-Ra is a ruthless ruler. And we have seen that Marduk in the Enuma Elish is pretty ruthless, pretty cunning too, considering you knew that you were going to lose if you faced Tiamat and her forces. So instead, you decided to call out her by herself and fight her. Pretty lame if you ask me. But hey, whatever, Marduk. You know what I'm saying? Come find me, bro. Yeah. So he goes on to create this thing, and the actual text is that he, let's see. Oof. Sorry, guys. Yes. So the creation of man, right, from his blood and bone. And then the man would be in service to the gods, right? And they would build shrines for the gods. And he stated that he would alter the way of the gods as well. And this will lead to oppression, and into evil they shall, and the tablet cuts out. And I believe into evil they will either fall, or into evil they shall cling, or whatever. It just goes into the same fact as Thoth the Atlantean as well, and his the Emerald Tablets, and him saying that pretty much like all humans are corruptible by nature, which, as you can see, this is correct, and stating that Marduk intentionally put these things in place, then for sure, we are made to be corruptible. We are born, not necessarily born evil per se, but we are born already going down the wrong path, and it's up to us as humans to then take ourselves and put us on the right path. Because in our society, the society that they left behind from back in the day, it's pure evil. Just, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. You can see the remnants of the old times in our current times as well, because it doesn't make sense for us to still be fighting amongst each other. And I mean, all wars. I mean, the fact that if any country decides that it's okay to go fight another country or bomb, kill, whatever happens during war that we don't really want to talk about on the channel right now because it gets gruesome, it's not okay, and it leads to the same. It pretty much just reinforces the same environment, the same structure that Marduk wanted to have in place, so that he could rule and he could be the monotheistic god. He could be the top ruler. He could get all the praise, all the glory. It pretty much keeps us in this corrupt state until we as humans then realize that we were engineered to worship. We were engineered to be in service. We were engineered to be slaves to these people, right? So until we wake up as people and understand that our history is that we were genetically engineered by these beings to be in service to them, we're not we're not going to be able to move forward right now. There's a lot going on inside right now. A lot of people coming forward talking about these things, but we just need. I don't know. Like I said, we need more. We need more people like us. More people like us to actually go out there and just start talking to people. Because the moment we stop talking to people and we stopped giving up, or we started giving up our consciousness to whoever's in charge, we stop thinking. That's the moment we actually truly fail as a society. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, guys. I guess I'll also, before I go, this is live, just introduce the shrine, little podcast segment. But before I go as well, I'll go over a little bit of the Atra Hasis as well, which is kind of touched on a little bit in the end of the Enuma Elish. The Atra Hasis is pretty much like the story of how we were created as well, why we were created. Because the Ajiji, which are the working class Anunnaki, they got tired of being the slaves for really a long time. Over 3,600 years they were slaves. I want to say that times 3. They were actually slaves for that long. At that point, they had enough. You know what I mean? So they were like, you know what? That's it. We're done. We're about to go to war amongst us gods, unless there's a change happening, right? And so then comes humans. The gods then find a humanoid on this planet, and then pretty much genetically engineer this humanoid into what we are, And yeah, I'll save that for the next live, and we'll go over all the nitty-gritty details on the good old Atra Hasis and why we're actually created, how we were created, and why we still are doing the same things that we were doing back in the day. Still for some reason we're still appreciated, reflecting pool. While we're still doing the same things that kept us slaves back in the day, like the gold mines, and today still, what is it, like the number one commodity in the world? Gold. We're still fighting over gold. We're still fighting over resources when there's no point. It's our birthright as humans. I don't care where you're from. I don't care where you're at. It could be freaking Russia, China, US, a freaking small village in the middle of nowhere in Africa or South America. I don't care. It's our birthright to be beings of the stars, beings of light, and to take control of our planet and essentially take our place into the stars. But yes, humans do have an obsession with gold, which is, I think that our obsession with gold is also kind of tailored into the whole fact that we were engineered as well. I don't know if you maybe think the same, maybe you don't, but here we go. I appreciate you coming, and I appreciate you, Reflecting Pool, for speaking as well. Hopefully be back for the next one. And yeah, let's get some Socratic discussions going. You know what I mean? Thank you. Have a daily day.